Hi everyone, thank you for watching Funkstylers TV again, and as promised, today I'm interviewing the talented and probably one of the craziest people I know, FireLock from New York.
Hello,
Fire, how are you doing?
I am doing just fine. I just finished a class, it was successful, and I'm feeling hyped. Before I came really tired and exhausted, and this interview is gonna hype me up. Thank you, Inga, for inviting me to this interview.
Thank you very much for doing this interview.
You are very welcome.
Okay, so I know you started dancing with from b-boying. How did you decide to focus on locking, and when did you decide to do that?
I decided to change into locking when, pretty much when I saw the movie. Actually, it was two particular things, but I don't know which one particularly came first. There was the video game Bust the Groove.
I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 2 for the PS1, and then there was the movie Breakin', which had Michael Chambers and Scooby-doo. I don't know which one I watched first, but out of guess, I think Breakin' came first, and then I was doing, that was in the movie. And then when I saw the video game, Bust the Groove, there's a breaking character and a locking character. And when I saw the locking character, I was like, whoa, that's totally different from what I see in the movie. It was very loose, it was very chilled, everything had its own timing, and I was trying to learn that. So in the game, there's an option where you can practice the moves, and you can actually look at who was that character in the game. And once I did my research, some people don't do that, research of who played that character, which was Hiro Sakuma from Japan.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I had a wish to go to Japan. I went to Japan, I took Hiro Sakuma's class, I sat with him, yes, I drank with him, it's a thing in Japan. And I just admire him and many others who are still creating locking and making locking for, the new generation.
Okay, yeah. So you basically answered how did
and why?
No, when did you change?
When I changed 2000, either 2000 or 2001 or 2. That's when I changed. And then I met shocl-a-lock, okay. Where 2000 or 99 or 2000 when I met Shock. And then 2003 and 2004, I started to take it more serious. Like my full focus was locking. I didn't leave breaking. I was still, doing my b-boying here and there, but the opportunity where I was able to lock and express my locking more and practice more, look at other dancers, study and research other dancers from around the world and just practice. My focus was on that. My reasons to change, I like breaking, I still do, but I was more happy. And I don't mean that in breaking, you can't be happy. You can be happy. It just has its own way of being happy. And I couldn't express the way how I was happy in breaking the way how I was happy in locking. Okay. For example, this is a small example. This doesn't happen to anybody, but in my experience, when I first performed, I like to entertain the crowd, not battle the crowd. So I think that's how I became an entertainer. I felt good being an entertainer, and I was just happy. And there were other groups who were not happy the fact that I was happy, because they felt breaking, it's supposed to be angry, it's supposed to be aggressive, you're supposed to be in people's face. Maybe that's not with everybody, but they gave me the wrong impression at that time. So I didn't feel happy. And then when I found locking, I was like, oh my God, I feel so happy. There's so much I want to express. I want to jump, I want to fly, I want to do so many things. I want to, do what Don did and the fake 5, give myself a 5, point at people, do weird, not clowning. I'm just entertaining the crowd, having fun, expressing me, So yeah, I hope I answer.
Did you take any classes apart from,
At that time, the only classes I took was with Shock. I was taking private classes with him. I would go to his house. He would verbally, honestly teach me. He would show me a few moves and he said, okay, work with that and change it around. So he's not showing me, okay, do this move and do what I do and do it only. He's not one of those kind of teachers. He show you a move and then he wants you to experiment. Those kind of teachers, maybe they exist, but by so far, he's the only teacher that taught me to mess with a certain move, whether it's the point, the wrist roll, the clap, the lock, you know, and then do something different with it.
Okay, so how did you get your name FireLock, and were you called something else in your b-boying days?
I'm still called B-Boy Kinetic. It's very rare.
Okay, I've never heard
It's
of
very rare. B-Boy Kinetic. I'm sure there's other B-boys that are called that name. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to battle people. That's a whole nother focus. And how I changed my name to FireLock was because it's just a flame that you cannot put out unless, you know, if you're talking like metaphorically, like, hey, there's fire, there's water, now you're out. You know, like, I don't know, like, I don't really focus on that. But I'm FireLock because when I met shocl-a-lock, he was wearing a fireman's outfit at that time. Don't think it has any relations, but he asked me, so if you were to call yourself anything, or what's your favorite thing in general? And I said, I like fire. He said, why you like fire? And I was like, well, it has this heat, and it just, wherever it goes, it absorbs and it grows. So that's how I see myself when I travel. Wherever I go, I absorb and I feel like I grow, you know. Not only that, a part of, hopefully if this makes sense, there's a character in Street Fighter, his name is Ken. One of my favorite characters, and he's a fire, you know, he uses fire, so that's another reason why I like fire, and thus he called me FireLock, and that's who gave me the name.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that before.
Oh, okay.
So, what, in your opinion, is the essence of locking? I know, we discussed this before. So.
My opinion, not a fact. Okay, this is just my personal opinion out of my experience. I do not speak for older generation and anybody else in my generation and anyone else that's coming up in the new generation. My personal opinion of the essence of locking is the feeling. What I mean by that is I don't go by the book structure of one and I don't focus on that. That's just for exercise, which became a dance style. That's a whole nother discussion. I focus on what happened originally. When you think of the word original, where it started, I go to Soul Train. Or even, I do my research. I even try to go before that, but you know, some people are, it's really hard when you try to communicate with some OGs, because I don't want to say OGs, original, older generation. Some, I don't want to say they, some make it too much focus on themselves, so you don't really get the full story of what happened back then, but this is what I did, this is what I did, this is what I did. So you have to talk to as many OGs as you can to get as much story from, you know, I am losing my point here. What was the question again?
The question was...
Yes, the essence.
The essence of locking.
My opinion, because I go back to the original. I watch Soul Train, and when I see Don, he's different from Greg. Greg, even though he was called Junior because he looked exactly like Don, so, you know, Demeter Joe Freeman called him, you know, Junior because he looked exactly like Don. But of course, to me, he had his own style. And then you had Scooby-doo, then you had Tony Basil, Fred Berry, Penguin, then you had Scooby-doo. He wasn't, I believe now he was the first original locker because he followed Don. And then there's Fluky Luke, Slim the Robot, and Tony Gogo. And I love Tony Gogo. But anyway, and everyone was different in their own way. And this is what I use this expression all the time. Sometimes the way forward is the way back. So whenever you feel lost, while you're in the journey of going forward, you go back. So whether it's watching the lockers, the original lockers, or you go by what you originally practice, whether it's very structured, you know, it has to be 90 degrees, you're using mathematics, you're going, you know, locking, by the book, it's okay. But I originally go by, when I watch Greg, when I watch Don, like they had their own original flow. There was no 1 and 2 and there was no structure where you can be like, okay, that's, it's boring, but not really. Everyone had their own groove and flow. Mm-hmm. So they all had their own feel. Mm-hmm. So I think, like Don said, he wasn't a dancer. And if you see some of the footage, he was getting down, and he started just by, with a pair of keys in his hand doing the pace. So he was feeling what he was doing. He wasn't thinking of 5, 6, 7, 8, and this pace has to be here. He has to study in the mirror to see if it's straight, to see if his shoulder is in a certain way. He has to see if it's low, is it short, or is it long. When I go back to what I see in the original lockers, and some people restrict you to watch on YouTube the original lockers. Some people want you to, not look at footages and whatever. But when you look at YouTube, to me, my opinion, looking at YouTube, depending on what you're looking for, it's either the cure or the disease. It depends on what you're looking for. And sometimes you could be looking for the wrong things. Sometimes you are actually looking for the right things. And when you are pacing, it can be short or it can be long. And when you look at the original lockers, some of them don't really do this. Mm-hmm. Some of them. Mm-hmm. Some video, you're not going to see that. Some of them are here. Some of their pace is short. Some of their pace are long. So when I see some dancers today where they are teaching, it has to be this, and it has to be that, and it has to be this. Mm-hmm. That's good, and it's okay. And it develops followers to pretty much look the same. And then, again, go back to where originally started. They had their own flow, they had their own feeling, and hopefully I answered this question, is the feeling. So when you're learning locking and you're trying to develop a feeling, listen to music and just, go with the feeling. Not all the time you're gonna have the feeling. Mm-hmm. You can just sit down, ha, do, ha, do. And then when the song comes on, whether you know it or not, if you're feeling it, go nuts. The moment of when you're feeling something is when you don't remember what you did. And that's just my opinion.
Okay, so...
That was a long answer. I am so sorry. This is going to be 2 hours. Go on, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So following this question, I want to ask you, what do you focus on when you teach locking?
My focus, only in classes, I focus on drills and different variations of whatever drill, whatever move that I'm drilling on. So if I'm pointing, if I'm doing drills with points, I'm doing different variations, like different timings, different angles, excuse me. Sorry. I'm focusing on different angles, different timings, double points, with both arms, or, different angles, different levels. Mm-hmm. That's what I focus on. So not everyone has to, again, teach the 1 and 2 and da 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 da. I focus, I try to make it more fun. And when you're having fun, it feels good. I want you to have a feeling and not leave with a militant mindset of, wow, what did I learn in class today? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you are known for your locking, but as you said in the class before, you do still learn other styles. How does that affect your locking?
Like I said in class, before I was told to just do locking, focus on locking. But when I learned, I think after locking, I learned whacking. How whacking made my locking better, Tyrone Proctor, for those who know, and then there's Archie Burnett. Tyrone, he taught me listen to the music, listen to the words. How can you relate to the words? Listen to each and every instrument, you know. And then when I went back to my locking, I was able to have better control in my locking. So I'm not just you know, I'm like pace, and da 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 da, you know. And I listen to disco. I listen to every song now, not just disco and funk. I listen to Japanese music. I listen to French music. I listen to all kinds of music, you know. And I listen to the words, whether it's in different language. I do my research of what are they talking about in those words. I look up the name, I look up the lyrics, and then if I can relate to those lyrics, I can better understand what I'm doing with the song. Kind of like knowing the history of the Rocksteady or the Which Away or the Stop and Go. If you know the history of each and every movement, you can have a better understanding of what you can do better with that movement instead of, okay, now I can do the stop and go, but I have no idea where it came from, how it started, what am I going to do with it next, you know? So that's what I feel when I learn different dance style. It made my locking better, and that's why I think dance is so connected in its own unique, weird way. And after whacking, then I learned a little bit of Vogue. Vogue made my whacking better, which made my locking better. After Vogue, then I learned how to do house. Little, I'm not a professional, just a little. I learned how to do a little bit of house, which made my footwork a little bit better. So you're gonna see some James Brown in there, some slides, some, you know, wiggles, you know. So each and every dance style that I'm learning made my locking better, because locking is my focus, but I'm still learning other dance styles.
Okay.
Shazam.
Okay, so when did you decide to enter battles and why?
Wow, that's hard. I believe you said when?
When and
when?
why?
Man, that's a hard one. I think it was 2004 or 2005, and that was either in Queens or Brooklyn. And there was an event, which I forgot the name. I'm going to kill myself later. It was held by King Uprock, and I think that was my first event. And then why? Because again, at that time I was learning under Shock, and he felt that I was ready, and I got down, and not to put my nose in the air, but I did win. And from there, I felt confident. I practiced, and yeah, that's going to be a short answer. Sorry.
Okay, so since then you actually judged quite a number of battles. When you're a judge, what is it that you expect to see on the dance floor? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, we all know the basics. I can't say we all, but some of us already are familiarized because it's been shouted, it's been typed, it's been on Facebook, YouTube. This is the basics. This is the foundation. Okay, we already know that. So I'm looking for different variations. I'm not looking for what we already know, what has already been done in the 70s, what was already been done in the 80s, what probably died out in the 90s. I'm not sure. Again, I'll do my research. You know, I am looking always for something different, but of course, musicality and, you know, to be having that rhythm, being on beat. What I mean by looking for something different, yeah, different variations. I'm not looking for, you know, one person doing someone else's style. That's some people are getting away with that, and that's a whole nother political whatever. Anyway.
Okay. Can I ask you, how did you meet Hurricane, and how did UnorthoLockx form?
I met Hurricane. Wow. 2000. Wow. Only Shock can answer that question. I don't remember the year, so I'm gonna guess 2006 or 2007, and it was at House Dance Conference, and Shock introduced me to Hurricane. At the time, he was just Alan. He introduced me to Hurricane, and I'm gonna be honest. At that time, I think, you know, in every moment of our lives, our nodes were in the air. So there was a moment where I was like, who is this guy? I really don't fucking care. Like, who is this prick? Like, that was just my mindset. I was like, I'm not interested. I'm trying to dance, like, I don't really care. But what made me focus on him was he was weird. And I don't know whether if it's a childhood thing or what Dawn was looking for, or maybe it's just me. I am attracted to weirdness, not in a that way. But I was, just like, wow, he's really weird in his own way. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on him, And he was really serious in terms of whenever we was at sessions, whenever we was at practices, whenever we was at house dance conference or at any particular parties or clubs, he always stuck around, pretty much dedicated, not people who are there for 3 days and then they leave and then they want to come back a year later because they missed the boat. He really stuck to it. So to me, people who are really focused, dedicated, and interested, you have my attention. So my focus was on him. We worked on some stuff. I went to his place. We play around with different musics and whatever. He would ask for advice. I would help him out. At that time, I was teaching him. That doesn't make me his teacher, just for the record, but he would always ask me for advice. And don't get it twisted, we learn from each other. So there's other things that I would learn from him. Again, he's just so weird. So the name Unorthodox, that was this event called Urban Tour something, I don't know. And I don't remember the question I asked Buddha Stretch, but Buddha Stretch pretty much gave us the name.
All right.
Yeah, he gave us the name UnorthoLockX, sorry. And I was like, wow, that kind of makes sense, because you have, Hasidic, and then you have unorthodox, where Hasidic is very traditional, if my research is correct, and then you have unorthodox, where some rules are broken, or things are done differently. So unorthodox, where we're still, well, not to some people thinking, to us, we're still locking, just doing things differently. And there are people who are Hasidic, where things have to be done traditionally, and it has to be this way and form and familiarized to some people's eyes, which is okay, but I want to grow. That's just my opinion. So no, fuck that. That's a fact. I want to grow, okay? So I gotta put it out there. Like, I'm done with opinions. So yeah, that's how the name formed. And yeah, Buddha Stretch gave us the name.
Okay.
Thank you, Buddha Stretch. Cool. Elite Force Mop Top. Look it up. EliteForceCrew.com. Check it out.
Okay. So
I think that's the website.
I think so too. I don't know. I think many people will agree with me that you always look dressed up for the performance.
Shazam.
What is your opinion on performance attire, and is there such a thing as a locking outfit or a locking dress code?
It depends on the individual.
Okay. Because
I call it the locking gear. To some people, oh, that's a clown outfit. I started with Shock where I want to dress to impress. And so what they did back then, and some people, again, that style is old and blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Sure, thank you for your 2 cents on that. It's not what you wear, it's what you do with it. And whatever I wear, whether it's street clothes or my locking gear, it's what I'm going to do with it. And not only that, to me, when I wear my gear, there's a certain feeling that I'm not going to feel the same when I'm wearing just a hat, a shirt with a James Brown saying something of his, normal quotes, and a vest, like I'm, like, that's not me. That's just not my feeling. I just pretty much feel like a superhero. And in each and every different gear, I feel like I do something different. Maybe it looks the same on YouTube, I don't know. But I personally feel like I'm doing something different when I'm wearing different clothing, different coloring, different combinations. I feel like a different superhero, but of course I still have the same name. But again, it depends on the individual and what they want to call themselves, if they want to call it a clown suit or the locking gear or the locking costume or, whatever they want to call it. It depends on, the individual.
Okay.
But I call it locking gear. So when someone says, "Hey, FireLock," and I'm in my street clothes, you can call me Omar. You know, my nose is not that far in the air where you have to call me FireLock all the time. I am a human being, and I know how to separate my personal, you know, identity and my dance name, my character. You know, whether it's Kinetic or FireLock. Kinetic is whatever. You can call me whatever. But FireLock, yeah, I like to separate that because out of respect, and I totally understand that, you want to call somebody that to make them feel good. But I sometimes call some people by their original name or their, you know, government. So, yeah, some people want to just, you call me this name because whatever, you know, like, okay, cool. That's just my opinion.
Okay. So since you're from New York, maybe you can tell us what's the locking scene like in New York and in other places in the USA.
Well, I would like to give props to the hood lockers because they are definitely putting themselves on the map. All right. So in far as New York, I can't speak for the rest of the United States, but I know Vegas, there's some lockers. I know Dallas, there's some lockers. I'm probably forgetting some other places. But in, LA, there are some lockers. But in New York specifically, before, it was kind of course, low. You know, there's people that actually can lock. They just don't enter. They just don't show up and show themselves. And that is honestly a little bit sad because people have the potential but don't, maybe they are shy or intimidated, whatever the reason may be. But New York, come on. You know you can lock. Come to the sessions, PMT Studios, 7 to 9 after Pop Shop. I'm advertising. On Saturdays. All right. You know you can get down. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. If I have an expression on my face, don't be intimidated. I am an awesome person. So is Alan. So is Little B. So is Kilowatts. You know, get down, get funky, and have fun. Locking at first was very low. There were not many people, you know, locking, but it's slowly growing. And I'm happy to, you know, do classes and do sessions, you know, to make it grow even more.
Okay, yeah. So apart from the lock shop, what are the other places, maybe clubs or certain parties, events, you know, that lockers can get down in New York?
I'm gonna be honest, it depends on the individual because some wanna lock to house music, and as far as my, you know, maybe I just need to go out more. As far as my experience of going out, you know, there's a lot of house places. So for those who like to lock to house, you know, there's Funk Box, there's Friday's house sessions at PMT with Cricket and Emiko. Ediko. And then there's the New York State of Mind, which is Wednesdays, which is happening tonight. Yay. And then there's, what's that place? Blue Lion?
I don't think I've been there.
Little B took me there. Well, anyway, it's a live band, and it was every Thursday, I think. I forgot. But anyway, it's something Lion, and Chihiro, she gets down there, and
well, you know what, we'll find it and we'll put it in the description.
Look it down there. Or up here or up there. Anyway, but yeah, I don't go out that much because it's too many. Nothing wrong with house, but there's so much house where it's like to a point like, okay, I need variety.
Okay.
So I just go home and practice.
Okay. So you traveled to Asia quite, a few times. Why do you think locking is so popular over there? Well, everywhere in certain countries, right?
Well, the only places I've been so far was Taiwan, Taipei, Japan, China, which I didn't. Beijing, China. I didn't really felt I got the full experience, you know, in terms of like locking sessions or get downs, you know. So I will mostly say, okay, like when you think of China, you think of Daki and Jay. When you think of Japan, you think of...
Oh, so many. Come on.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
Tanaka and
okay,
what
all
is it?
right. I don't know who that is. Sorry. Maybe I know,
New
but
York.
Who? He lives in New York.
Oh no, he didn't come to New York. No, that was Abu who came to New York. But what is those? The guy and the girl, road dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shio and Masato.
Yeah, those
Well, that's
two.
Osaka. Yeah, like I mean, sorry, Kobe. Is it Kobe?
I don't know.
I think they live in Kobe. I could be wrong. No, like they're getting up there, you know, but because of again, like everything else, everything has its politics, so they're kind of limited to be more famous. So I would say when I say this, immediately you think of the Go-Go Brothers. That's my point. When you think of France, you think of
FireLock.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to build here. Like when you think of New York, not many people think of our names, and it's okay, you know, because there's other people that are representing New York, the U.S. or New York, whatever in general. So when you go to Asia, I automatically see, you know, Go-Go Brother style, or Tony Go-Go. I would see, you know, the way how he would move, and I will see a lot of people like, wow, maybe that's why it's popular, because this is all they have, you know. So, and there's a few that's like Gemini style, you know, very few, but mostly I would see Go-Go Brother style, and maybe a little bit of Hilti and Bosch, but I mostly see the Go-Go Brothers, and yeah, so I think that's why it's popular.
Because they have those people like role models to look up to.
They have those certain role models, and then you have the older generation where they are now doing cha-cha slides or jazz interlocking, and it's okay, yeah.
Okay. so the next,
which is not bad. It's just, yeah, everyone has their own opinion of locking these days, and
that's true.
Yeah.
That's why we talk to people and find out, you know, why people think the way they think.
You need to interview them because I'm curious.
Okay, so the next part of the interview actually comes from you. We asked you to send us questions, and questions came from New York, from UK, from Lithuania even.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so that's this part. So are there any moves, that is from Lithuania, wants to know, are there any moves being created?
Hey, Lithuania.
Lithuania.
I'm sorry. That name is so hard. That's like a puzzle. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so he wants to know, are there any moves?
Who?
Darius from Lithuania.
Hey, Darius. What's up? What's happening? You want to get that hot dog? Oh, right now. All right. We'll eat later. Okay.
Okay, so he wants to know if there are any moves that are being created and added to the locking vocabulary nowadays.
In general or me?
In general.
In general? Yes, I believe so. Again, it's the research. Listen, what I mean research, way before I knew about YouTube, I was finding music online, like on Google or Yahoo. So what I mean research is you're gonna have to look up each and every person that maybe they don't say specifically the names, but you're gonna see new moves being added and created and developed in that moment in locking battles or locking practices. There's a girl in Korea who's kind of doing like hip hop lock, and that kind of sparked my interest because I'm not saying I'm not saying who did it first, but I was playing around with hip hop lock, whatever. But she has her own way of doing that, and I'm like, wow, that's what's up. I forgot her name because Korean names is so hard to, yeah. But I do my research, you know, I would do my research and, you know, play around with it. And yeah, YouTube is there. Again, YouTube is either the cure or the disease. It depends on what you're looking for. So.
But is there like I don't know, is there like a process that, okay, everyone approves that this move is part of the vocabulary, is added to vocabulary, or it's not?
Is everyone approve? It depends on
how does it happen?
I mean, listen, everyone is going to do a certain move and then throw in a lock, you know? It's not going to be called locking without that lock. Not unless if there's a pace, wrist roll, and then you forget the lock. The question is, do you call that locking because you didn't even throw one of these? Even if you do a aha, is that a lock? Like, I'm still confused what this is. Is this still a lock? You know, like this is, again, something we have to all learn and research. And the question of who do you have to ask for approval to call it locking? You know, and this is where we have to go back to, again, the OGs. This is why I'm very appreciative and happy to travel to ask certain OGs. Maybe not all, because again, they make it, you know, some who make it about themselves, but I ask people who is about everybody. So, wow, that's really hard to answer.
So what did they say? Did you ask the same question?
Well, because I didn't really show them any moves, and the only people that I can think of that are creating new moves all the time, I would say Scooby-Doo Foster, Jimmy Scooby-Doo Foster, and this is people who I do research on. I don't, you know, whatever. Tony Gogo, when I met him. Hiro Sakuma, when I met him. Oh my God, Anthony Thomas. Oh, that's some of them. Anthony Thomas, look him up. He is the choreographer of Janet Jackson. Oh my God, when you go to his class in Las Vegas, what's that damn studio name? The Crab? I'm way off. What's it called? It's called something, but look up Anthony Thomas. He's always creating. Actually, that's what's helping me create better in my locking class, is creating on the spot. And he's creating and he's watching you and you're kind of helping him create. And the way he gets down, the way he gets down, he is the pure, he's creator. He creates, he is the perfect example of what he's creating in the moment of when he's teaching a class. And the thing is, again, back then there were not maybe certain names at the time, and there's maybe not names now, but there are moves being created. I can't specifically say who you should ask. That's totally up to you, who you feel that you want to be approved by. So me, I like to be approved by certain people, not all people, because some people you have to ask his, and some people who are just really from the heart. And that's just out of my experience. Shazam.
Okay, so you spoke about music a little bit earlier, and there was a question: can locking mutate and change, for example, with the change of music? And if so, what kind of music do you think, apart from funk, can have, you know, an influence on the future?
I don't know if this makes sense, but when I say the music is not supposed to make you funky, you're supposed to make the music funky. So the music does not have to be funk. It doesn't have to be disco. It doesn't have to be what is already familiarized on what you have to do, whatever style that you're known for. I am learning, again, to dance in different styles and genres of music. There's a certain house song that I do locking in. There's a certain, I think it's a jazz or like a Lindy Hop kind of song that I'm doing locking to. So different dance, different music, to me, my opinion, improves or evolve your, you know, your dancing abilities. Because, you know, when you're in that moment, you're creating something, you're doing something different. And again, you're only creating something when you don't even remember. When someone comes up to you, yo, you did that thing. How did you do that? What did I do? I don't remember. And that's another thing too that's important, is to record yourself. I don't like looking at myself, but I have to in order to grow and develop and, you know, fix what I want to fix and leave out what is already been done, you know. So music is definitely important. I don't feel like back then, there were beats that were being used for breaking that were really used for when people in Soul Train and people were just locking and just soul dancing. Soul dancing is from the heart. That cannot be taught. I mean, yeah, it's being taught, but that's, for other reasons, not my business. But it's, it's a feeling. It's not a, okay, I'm going to teach you how to feel. Okay. You're going to teach me how you feel, or you're going to teach me how I should feel? So that's, I don't know. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But, yeah, it all depends on the individual and what they listen to. So that's why in today's class, I was playing hip hop, So, and believe it or not, they got down to hip hop and they were locking, and some were hyped, some were laughing, and, it all comes from here. It doesn't matter. If it's from here, it feels good. If it's just, a have to thing, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
Cool.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did.
Yay.
Question from Tommy, Funk Style.
Hey, Tommy, hey! I know he has a question. Let's bring it down a notch, okay? I think I know you now. All right now. Oh, sugar. Okay, here we go.
Okay, what is your favorite game music?
Oh, that's what's up. My favorite video game music. Oh, wow. I would have to get my laptop. I don't have it here. My favorite video game music. Wow, that's going to be hard to answer. I have a lot. My favorite video game music.
It's so weird. It's just such an easy question, and you're like...
My favorite? No. Actually, I do have a favorite, and I don't normally, because he's not asking, do I dance to it, right? So.
No, he's just saying...
My favorite video game music is, I think it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or 3, where he's on the ice board, and it's pretty much dun dun dun. No, doom 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 doom. Right now I'm just doing a remix. Doom 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 dun 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 dun. Anyway, look it up. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or 3, and it's the ice board where he's snowboarding, and I just love that song. And hopefully, if I find the remix to that, I would so get down to that. A good remix, not no, fast ass craziness. It depends on the remix. I would so get down to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, another question from Funkstylers TV team. Who is the sexiest locker?
What the What are you trying to do, man? Come on now. Be careful. Who's the sexiest locker?
In your opinion.
Wow.
We got you!
And it has to be one person?
No, you can name many.
Oh, yeah. Man.
You have them, come on.
This is so embarrassing. Come
Just
on
name
now.
a few.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's you.
Oh, thank you.
Look at her turning red. There's you, Inga Be. Then there's Tiffany Bong, Hala from LA, Culver City. Yeah. And of course Donna, LA. Shio Masato, the couple. She can move. She is. Watch it now. Y'all don't know. Shio and Masato, look out for them. I don't know. That's all I can think of, because there's other females who are trying to look like dudes, and that's okay too. If they're, they want to, put a point out there. Whatever a man can do, a woman can do better, and that's awesome. But if you want to look like a dude, it's your prerogative. It's nothing bad. It's just their own thing. Like, you know.
Everyone has a style, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Liz Funk.
Liz
Funk. She's good. She's sexy. Yeah. She's definitely female. Female. She can move like a dude, but she can put in that, you know, that woman in there. That's rare. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Okay,
but I'm sure there's many others. Sorry if I forgot your name, but no, actually, there was this woman. I don't know. It was Gemini's wife or Gemini's girlfriend. It was a black chick. Anyway, I forgot her name. Shocl-a-lock knows her, but she's also a sexy locker.
Is she French?
She's French, I think.
A while ago?
A while ago.
Lil Kiss, maybe? No, I don't know.
Say it again?
Lil Kiss, maybe?
Yes! Yeah. And it's funny how I because she was in New York at the time.
All right.
And she was at House Dance Conference, and I was like, who is this girl? Because, like, at that time, there were girls who were doing hip hop, you know, again, trying to impress dudes by dancing like a dude, which is okay, none of my business. But she was the only, like, dancer who was, like, she was locking, but she was a female about it. And I was like, represent. All right. Tosh from Montreal, the queen of lock from Montreal. If you don't know her, look her up. By the way, this is her company. All right, Watts, check it out. All right, yeah, Tosh. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Okay, thank you for answering these questions, because we asked it before, you know, and people were hesitant.
They were hesitant?
Yeah, but
no, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a guy. I'm gonna look at females. No, I'm not like, oh, look at them, huh? You know, I'm not like pervertedly checking you out. I'm like, whoa, that's a sexy chick right there. Like, she's getting down, you know. So I'm gonna look at it, you know. Girls look at guys. Guys look at girls. Let's keep it, you know, what it is. You know, it's we're human.
Okay, so the last question comes from Retro Funk in UK.
Alright, Retro Funk UK, coming to your town soon.
Well, that's the question. When will you come?
I come?
Yeah, when will you come down to jam and teach a workshop and so on? You know.
You put me on the spot. Oh man, who's gonna hit me up? Like them plane tickets are expensive. Like, what y'all want to do? Y'all want to do it half? Like, what's up? Like, let's plan it out. If anything, somewhere after November-ish.
Because you're coming for Pay the Cost to Be the Boss, right? And
that's in Paris, yes.
So that's kind of close. So guys, if you want a workshop, want to jam,
well, that's going to be hard because the ticket has already been bought.
Okay,
yeah,
well, that's not happening,
sorry.
but, you know.
Yeah, if y'all hit me up, you know, more often, we can, but
okay, for the next time then.
Yeah, it has to be next time. I'm sorry, guys. But I definitely want to hit up UK. I want to do, like, not just only workshops, but get downs, you know. Yeah. Like, I want to try. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a thing. I think I do that because I'm nervous.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, 2 weeks, UK. I want to travel around. I want to breathe the smog. I want to fog. Sorry, that's LA, smog. I want to breathe the fog. I don't know. What is UK known for? I don't know.
Fish and chips.
I was waiting for you to say that. She said it, okay? I heard about it, but I'm not that, you know, I don't judge. I don't stereotype. I don't put people in that, all right? And I'm sure everyone has clean teeth. I'm just saying, all right? She said all that.
Yeah, I'm foreign. What do I know? Anyway, that's the end of our interview. Do you have any shout-outs?
Oh, man, again, shout-outs to Lockism, Ivy League, UnorthoLockx, Hood Lockers, Shio and Masato, Road Dogs, Bebop, man, this is hard. This is so many.
Next time you'll make a list.
yeah, next time I'll make a list, but that's what's there right now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your time with us tonight.
Shazam.
Yeah, tonight. We're going to party after. And everybody, if you want to know more about FireLock, please read in the description below. And also, if you're not following Stylers TV, subscribe, follow everywhere, all social media. So I'm saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye.
Oh, not yet. Please find me on Facebook. There's FireLock. I have my own personal fan page. There's a lot of people on my personal page, which is Omar Thomas, but I rather build my fan page. And the more my fan page build, I can focus more on that to build and give you more updates of events, where am I traveling to. And yeah, again, the more people hit me up, I can come to your town. We can negotiate how I travel. And yeah, not just workshops, but get downs. I want to share more in get downs instead of classes. But classes. you know.
Okay then, guys.
Brother gotta eat. Anyway. Goodbye, y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Inga Be.
Stylers TV.
Check it out.
See you soon, guys.
Whatever is easiest to him is hard for me, and vice versa. So everyone has their unique simplicity. So if she were to show me a move, oh, but it's simple. But to me, it's like, oh my God, that's hard. So do I have to do what she does to be simple? Or do I try to learn what she did and then make it my own, and then I can say, well, that was simple because I made it my own, you know? So my point is, when you're learning different styles, some could be simple, some could be hard, but that's where you add in your own simplicity, your own groove, your own funk, your own soul. Otherwise, you're doing someone else's simplicity, funk, soul, and you don't have none of your own. We have different t-shirts for a reason. We have different names for a reason. Why can't we dance differently? Shazam? Shazam. Oh, by the way, the reason why I say screw that, excuse my language, I've been cussing a lot. I really am trying to, put that down a notch. It's really unprofessional. And I apologize for the young generation for hearing such language. That's not really me. But yes, I will. I'm not really a cursor like that. But screw that about when people say my opinions, and some people have a certain way of saying my opinions, but this is also subliminally putting in your head as a fact. So it would lead to people feeling, oh, that makes sense, so I'm going to follow that only because it sounds awesome and how the way it would say it. So I am no longer trying to share opinions depending on the subject. I'm throwing facts only because of my personal experience and not the experience that I feel that has to be followed by older generation. Of course, I learned from older generations, but that's their experience. We should not have to follow that. They already went through that. And for those older generations who feel that we should, then it should be on a positive note, not a do what I say, do what I have to do what I do only, but be free of what you're doing, but still do what I do. That I don't feel is how a person should grow. But back to the subject in hand, we should all share facts of our personal experience and not opinions that we're still not sure of, but still manipulate the word into trying to make it a fact. So for those who go back to the video where I say, screw that, no more opinions, this is a fact, I'm speaking on from my experience and from what I've learned from certain older generations. So just food for thought. When you want to share an opinion, make sure it's an opinion. And if you're going to share a fact, it's a fact of what you personally went through and have experienced, and not, hearing one truth and not many other truth, So again, I stress travel. If you don't have the budget, save up, go to different countries, meet many OGs, and then you can decipher what is fact if you hear the same story. If it's different stories where it's all about themselves, or it's about, you know, everybody, then it's a fact, you know, because dance is about love and sharing, not this. As Buddha Stretch would say, it's about this. Thank you. And that's my fact. Shazam.